How do I complete the ARM Lawyer's online debtor portal and bankruptcy questionnaire? Find out today on Bankruptcy Basics.
Welcome everyone. My name is Kate. I'm a bankruptcy paralegal here at ARM Lawyers with Patrick Best's office. Today I'm going to walk you through filling out and completing our online debtor portal as well as our PDF fillable questionnaire. So the first thing that you'll notice here is I have an email from a company called Next Chapter. Next Chapter is our software company. So we're going to click this email. There is a link right here that says Start Questionnaire. There's also, you'll see my information. So here's my email address as well as my direct line. So if when you're starting the process, you have any issues or question, feel free to contact me. Otherwise, let's get started. So you'll notice there's a menu on the left-hand side. You can go to each individual section, or you can just click the bottom here where it says client profile. This will take you through it step by step. So any information that you see here is information that was already given to me by the client during our initial conversation. So if by chance anything is spelled wrong, anything is incorrect, you're just going to go through and make changes. At that point, you're going to hit Save Profile. So John is single, he has a household size of 2, his date of birth is here, and he is a junior. Next, we're going to go to contact information. So again, there may already be information here if you gave me your phone number or email address when we started the process. So John's phone number is, we're just going to use mine for convenience. And his email address is John Doe 189@gmail.com. So if you have any other email addresses, this belongs to John. If you wanted to put in any other addresses, if you are co-filing and your spouse wants information as well, you'd put that information in there. We're going to go to addresses. Now notice at the top it says anywhere you lived in the last 3 years. This is important. The bankruptcy court wants to know where you have lived over the last 3 years. So we're going to say 121 Main Street, and he lives in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, and the zip code is 18360, and then you're going to change the county. Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania is in Monroe County. He is a residential dwelling. Otherwise, if you have a residential dwelling, but you also have a mailing address, that might be what you want to do. If you've lived somewhere else in the last 3 years, you're going to select prior. If you have a business and this is your business address, you're going to select business. If you have any assets somewhere else, someone else is holding your assets, that's the location of assets. So this is just his residential address. He rents. We're going to put, this isn't a prior address, so we're going to leave that section blank. We're going to hit save. There we go, 121 Main Street. And we're going to go to dependents. We're going to add dependents. This is not their name. Don't worry about their name. Son, daughter, grandchild. So he has a son. He's 12. The dependent does live with him. Yes or no? We're going to hit save. And we're going to go next. Real property. This is any real estate that you may own. Even if you have a mortgage, you do own that property. So you remember John rents, so we don't need to fill any information out here, but this would be where you put the mailing address, what type of house it is it single family, is it condo, is it land? If you do own any land, that goes there. If you own any timeshares, that goes there. So you would add those. I'm going to hit cancel since he doesn't, and we're going to go on to vehicles. Again, this is any vehicle, whether it has a loan, if you own it free and clear, if it has a lease, you would put the information in here. 1989 Chevy Tahoe. If you know the trim, if it's a limited, an Eddie Bauer edition, you'd go there. The mileage, 125,000 miles. It's in poor condition, and what you think the value is. We will run a Kelley Blue Book value on all vehicles. We do need to keep a copy of that. So that is something that we're going to do. If you happen to know the value, go ahead and put it in. If not, you can leave it blank. If you do have a loan on it, you can click this button, add monthly payment. You can add any loan, but John owns this free and clear. We're going to hit save, and we're going to go to the next button. The next section is leased vehicles. So if you do have a lease, again, you're going to add the lease payment. If not, we're going to go to the next button. This talks about all of your personal items. Lots of questions on this. This is yard sale value. So when you're thinking about this section, you're going to think, if we had to move tomorrow and have a fire sale, what would we sell things for? We also group things together. So for example, electronics, it's televisions, computers, cell phones. If we had to sell those all tomorrow, I would estimate we're going to sell those for $500. Then you're going to click save. And then you're going to add household goods. Again, for things like this, we do furniture, including beds, dressers, desks, etc. And we're going to spell things correctly. So I estimate that that's probably $1,250. And I hit save. If you have any collectibles of value are tricky. If you have an insurance writer or an appraisal, those are things we will need copies of, as well as that's the amount that you're going to use. So if you do have an appraisal on something, you're going to use that value. You go through jewelry, clothing. If you have any pets are usually, again, unless they're show quality, they're about $50 a pet. Sports and hobby equipment, firearms, or anything else that you can think of that you might need us to know. It's very important you go through. You don't need to do one for each individual piece of furniture. You can group them together. If there's anything that's a red flag, we will talk about it when we go through the petition with you. So don't worry about that. Better safe than sorry, and list everything. Next is bank accounts, checking, savings, any CDs you may have. If you have a safe deposit box, you're going to list what is in it. Cash on hand. Everyone always has some sort of cash on hand, even if it's just pennies in your car. So usually we just put $10. If you have more than that, obviously indicate that. You have any security deposits? This also goes for things like rental security. So if you had to put 2 months rent down when you rented your apartment, that's information that goes down there. Same for utilities. And then you just go through, if you have any of those, you'll add those. Any interests, and again, you can look through the list. Term life insurance, whole life insurance, that's cash value. We would need a statement for that. If you have a 401k or any of the other items listed, you're just going to add those. Farm and livestock, you're going to go through. Some people have farm animals, crops, other farm properties. You'd go through and list that. This is the creditor section. At the top, you'll see a note. You're not going to list any mortgages, car loans, or credit cards. If you open your credit report and you see Santander's car loan on there, it will populate when we run your credit report. The things that we need listed here are things that are not on your credit report. Things like medical bills, utilities, anything else that may be on there that did not have your social security number, so it never populated to your credit report. If they are not listed, we will not know to have the bankruptcy court send them a notice of your filing. They will not know that you filed bankruptcy. The debt will not be discharged. So it's important that you list all of those there. Just click Add Creditor, the creditor's name. Their address is very important. That's the address that we will send it to. The approximate balance, again, not crucial. And then if you know what type of debt it is, if it's a deficiency balance, if it's, telephone or cable services, you just indicate there. If it belongs to you or if it belongs to someone else. So if you're jointly filing and you have your spouse's name in there, it may say, does it belong to John or does it belong to Jane? You'd indicate that. Then you'd hit save. I'm just going to hit cancel. Income is the next section. You're going to put your income information. So this is either full or part-time employment or self-employment. The name of your company, what you actually do. The length of employment, how long have you worked there, how are you paid, weekly, every other week, twice monthly, and their address. This is also where you'd put other types of income. So if you got unemployment, if you have disability, if there's other, so if you have someone else helping to contribute to the household, that can go in contributions of household. If you have child support, you get government assistance like food stamps, that goes there. Everything is important to fill out. It's all vital. Expenses, this section gets almost all of our clients. You are going to put your mortgage or your rent. So John pays $500. He has renter's insurance. He pays $15 a month. He spends about $50 upkeeping. If your spouse has additional expenses, if they live in a separate household, that would go there. There's a little tab up here. Now I'm at utilities. So John pays $100 for electric, $50 for gas. He doesn't pay water, sewer, or trash. He pays $25 here, $50 there, and he has no other utilities. Any other installment payments might go here. Personal, this is food. And again, as you put things down, if something is a red flag and we know the bankruptcy trustee or the bankruptcy court will have an issue, we will change it and discuss it with you when we go over everything. We do not want any red flags. Personal care products, this is $25, $15 here. He spends $10 cleaning and laundry, $10 for clothing. This is a big red flag area. Oftentimes we'll see something like that. That's great. Lots of people spend $500 a month on recreation. You can if you're filing bankruptcy. So we'll hit next down here. If you hit next, it will take you to the next section. Medical's up here. So John has pretty decent medical insurance. He pays $5 out of pocket and he pays $15 for prescriptions. If he had any other dental or vision expenses, they would go there. Taxes or insurance. John has life insurance. He pays $15 a month for that. 401k, these are things that do not come out of your paycheck. If your 401k comes out of your paycheck, it doesn't get listed here. Same things for other insurances. If it's already coming out of your paycheck, it does not go on this screen. Vehicles, John pays $150 a month for car insurance, and on average, now this is a yearly average. You're going to think about how much you're spending the whole year and then just divide it monthly. So John pays about $150 in gas over the year per month. He has a $15 oil change. He also has Easy Pass, which he pays about $15 a month. Family support. John needs a babysitter, so he oftentimes will pay $250 a month there, and he has to buy books and other items for his child, so that goes there. Anything else, again, child support and alimony, this is if it's not coming out of your paycheck. If it comes out of your paycheck, you don't need to list it there. I will see it when we get your pay stubs. That's all for there. This is our document section. So some of the documents that we need, non-negotiable. Pay stubs, the last 6 months, never the month that we're in. So if you're in April, we would need March and 6 months back. We need your federal income tax returns for the most current tax year. So right now we're in 2020. If you filed your 2019s, we need a copy of your 2019s. If not, we can take your 2018s, but just know the trustee may hold open your bankruptcy until he gets your most recent year's tax returns. Home documents such as a mortgage statement, the deed, a CMA, driver's license and social security card, we would need a photocopy, as well as any medical bills. Medical bills are not required. We would much rather you put them into that creditor section. It makes it easy on everyone. That's it. You'd hit submit to attorney, and then it goes right back to me. If for some reason when I receive it, it's incorrect, something doesn't look right, I will send it back to you with a note that says, hey, the expenses don't look right. Can you, and here it comes in my email, can you take a look and let me know if your expenses are correct? And that way we can double check and see where we are there. The other thing that you will receive if you get the portal is our PDF fillable questionnaire. So this is, again, very important. It's the only place we're going to get your actual social security number. If you noticed in the portal, no place to put your social security number. So you are going to, again, just for convenience, write everything down, phone number, email. This is where you'd put your social security number. Any prior bankruptcies, yes or no. And again, you can just click yes, no. Marital status, you're single, any dependents. Again, it's easy enough just to write everything down. Our son was 14. I have 2 people in my house. And there we go. Now, this is the statement of financial affairs. This is very important. During the last 3 years, if you lived anywhere else. John did not, but again, this was that prior address. So you can fill it out in the portal. If you fill it out in the portal, fill it out here as well. Street address, and when you lived there. If you lived any years in your last 8 years, you lived in a community property state, which are listed there, yes or no. If so, who was your spouse when you lived there? The address and the dates you lived there. This question gets everyone. Do you have any income from employment? You did. You got a W-2, you got a 1099, you had K-1, which is business corporate income. The answer is yes. They want to know first, year to date. So John has $1,200 year to date. Last year he made $48,000, the year before, so this would be current year is 2020, last year is 2019 for now, and prior calendar year would be 2018. So they're looking for that. And then this question is asking about income, non-employment income, workers' compensation, social security, pension income, unemployment. John got some unemployment. In 2020, he got $500 in unemployment. And then you would write unemployment so that we know what it was. So if it was a pension, you'd write however much you received in pension. That makes it easier for us. This question's asking about payments that you made to anyone in the last 90 days. So if you made any payments, not rent, but mortgage, car payments, credit cards, personal loans, things like that, you would list who it was, how much you paid, and then the dates, and then what type it was, credit card. Did you pay any debts for friends and families? Yes or no, and write their name. Did you pay any business partners? Yes or no, and write their name. A lot of this is self-explanatory. This is an important question. Question 8 is asking about lawsuits. Plaintiff, defendant, the docket number, the location, and what happened. This question, question 9, asks about if any of your property was repossessed, garnished, attached, seized, or levied. It's important that you fill these sections out. If you have more answers than there are areas provided, you can always, when sending this back, indicate that, Kate, I ran out of room for question 9. Here's some additional information. For any of these questions, if you want to explain further or feel that you need to explain further, you can do that in an email when you send it back to us. You're just going to go through each question and fill them out the best that you can. All of this information is required for us to put into the bankruptcy petition. It all is required to be accurate to the best of your knowledge. Obviously, a lot of these questions we cannot answer. They are questions you have to answer yourself. This question asks about debt consolidation or mortgage modification. So you definitely want to think about the timeline. All questions ask about a timeline within 1 year, within 2 years. You're going to think about the timeline, and then if you did do what the question asks. It's thinking about fraud, it's thinking about your financial situation. It's a question about safety deposit box. Ideally, if you fill this out, you will have also filled that section out in the portal. When it asks about assets held elsewhere, you would have that address in there. But for example here, this would be, self-serve, and it was on 135 Brown Street in East Stroudsburg. And 8301. And in that safety deposit box, I had documents and photos. It was worth $10. So you're going to go through and fill out all of the questions to the best of your ability. This is a document checklist. So again, it's going to help both of us keep track of the documents that you've already sent to us. So if you already sent the pay stubs, yes, I sent them. I've already sent all of my information on that. You go through, if it's not applicable, again, this just helps you. So if our friend John rents, he doesn't have a recorded mortgage. He doesn't have a recent mortgage statement. He doesn't have a property tax bill. He sent us the title and registration for the vehicles. Copies always. I do not want your actual title or your registration. You have no idea how many times that happens. He doesn't have an auto loan, so we don't need anything there. You would go ahead and do that, and then you would save as or save, and then email it back to me. If you don't save it, none of your answers will be there when you send it back. You can send it back via email, and you can attach any documents. Please do not send pictures. JPEGs are not going to be accepted by the court, and oftentimes they are unreadable when they come through to me. We need documents that are scanned. You can also fax. Our fax information is always on the top of our letterhead. It's also in my email signature. So you can always send things that way. Photos are a no-go. So that is our walkthrough on our portal and our supplemental questionnaire. If this is too difficult for you, if you find you'd much rather just have pen and paper, contact me. I will absolutely mail you a copy of our questionnaire. We are also going to have a separate video on how to fill out the questionnaire so that you're sure you're putting all of the information where it needs to go and we have all of the information we need. Thanks so much, and we look forward to helping you.